Hello everyone, it's Zelleranth here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to take a look at the upcoming support cards that'll be getting paired alongside with Meijiro Dober, and see whether or not you're going to want to pull on the banner. The nice thing is, with all these banners going into the future, we have now gotten past the Kita-san Black rerun, so hopefully you have MLB'd her at this point, whether or not you had to use your Selector and Crystal from the half anniversary or not, and so you'll have a better idea of what carrots you're going to have going forward for not only these support cards, but also Umas as well. And so with that, we have Vodka SR Speed and Daitaku Helios SSR Power to look at here. We'll take a look at the Vodka SR here first. She is a speed card, with her unique effect being 5% training effectiveness and increased hint frequency. And when you look at kind of all of her bonuses here, kind of your typical SR that I can tell here. While she does have training effectiveness here, she doesn't have it anywhere in these, so it's just going to be 5% training effectiveness. 25% on the friendship bonus, so not too crazy high, but it's not too crazy low either. Special priority of 35, and then you got hint level 1 hint frequency at 30% if you take in the unique effect. Race bonus is only 5%, so less valuable going into make a new track there. One thing I really like to look at all the cards from this point forward as we're getting ready to get into make a new track. But it does have a power bonus, so kind of like King Halo there. Let's actually take a look at the skills on it and see if there's any value out of this. Now, when it comes to SR cards, though, while you're going to get them over time, eventually you're not going to MLB them right off the bat, and you never pull on the banner, specifically for the SR card, other than the one that I could say maybe for a lot of people, and that's going to be the NTR banner for Admire Vega going into make a new track. But generally, it's a bad practice to go for the SR card specifically. Looking at it, it looks like your just typical skills here: Tokyo Race, Core Straightaway, Adept, Home Stretch, Haste, Mile Straightaways, Medium Straightaways, Slick Surge, kind of just a random assortment, nothing too crazy. Then you do have Nimble Navigator and Mile Corners here. Nimble Navigator will become a little bit more important going forward after Unity Cup, just from the fact that you're not going to be able to get No Stopping Me anymore automatically from winning the Unity Cup. But then again, you're going to want to get No Stopping Me generally, I would think, in a lot of cases, which you can get off of the Yukino Wit card or something else down the line. But having cards that have it can always have some value, especially if it ends up being one of the SRs you end up MLBing, because they're kind of random and all over the place, especially when you pull on future banners. But don't see this one surpassing something like the SR Sweep Tosho, or even Shinko Windy. Shinko Windy having 10% race bonus, so being a little bit more valuable for making you track. But if you end up MLBing it, and for some reason you don't have any of the other ones MLB, it could be one that you can pair alongside Kita-san Black for now. But kind of just generic SR there. Now when you take a look at the SSR, the first thing is seeing that it's a power. That's automatically a negative to me right off the bat. Try not to use powers too much for my ace runs unless it's like a track that it can really work for and have the sparks built for it. But they have the ability sometimes to be good for parent runs, especially if you borrow them. Because that's another thing I like to look at on these cards, is not just whether you want to pull on it to use yourself, but also maybe potentially being your key borrow, especially now that you have Kita-san Black, hopefully. You've opened up that borrow slot, especially for your parent runs. Although there's already a lot of good options, so we'll have to see if she could replace that. You got power in the unique effect here. Initial friendship starts at 15, always nice to see there. But no other initial, so she is just going to be an initial of 15. Friendship bonus of 30%. So not surpassing Vodka in terms of being very strong for power. Mood bonus 50. Race bonus 10%, always good to see. Makes it have potential in make a new track, but we're already going to have the free Marvelous Sunday Power card that'll have 15%, as well as the SR Nishino Flower Power that has 15%. I would use those over this one going into make a new track. Fan bonus 20, nothing crazy. Training effectiveness is only 5. Skill point bonus is always nice, and I see hint levels 3, so if it's got good hints, you could potentially get some good discounts on them here. When we look at the hints: Ramp Up, Mile Corner, Shifting Gears, Slipstream, Speed Eater, Fast Paced, and Escape. So this one is this one's going to be your front runner, which makes sense since the Uma herself, when she comes out, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a great escape, or has the ability to be a great escape. But it also has Pace Chaser corners and early lead. And when we look at the actual chain event here, Pace Chaser corners, you get that if you end the event on the first one right off the bat. Else, you'll take the top option. You'll get early lead, which is always pretty good. It's like mandatory that you get at least early lead on your Umas. But you can get a hint for taking the lead, especially if you're pairing it with the Mihono Bourbon Wit card when you're building your front runners. And then right at the end, it is a gamble. I hate this with support cards, but you either get fast-paced or you'll get Escaped Artist, which is a very, very strong frontrunner skill. Right now, the only way I believe to currently get it is the Seiyun Sky card or using Seiyun Sky herself. So this is another option for that, especially if you don't need stamina, if it's like a mile. So I could see some potential there, but not enough for the want to pull on it. This is definitely a borrow. But if I'm going to be borrowing a power card, I don't see anything that makes it stand out enough to the point that I wouldn't use something like Vodka, which is just going to be an outright stronger power stat stick, as well as Vodka having already, I believe it's hint levels 4, and a lot of good hints, so you can get a lot of hints off her that are max discount, versus this one only being a level 3. So the main thing I could see you using this if you borrow it is Escaped Artist. But that's about it. So really not all that valuable. And to me, a very easy skip for pulling. I would not pull on this banner unless you're a Leviathan. And that'll actually taking a look at future banners. Even if you are a decent spender and you're willing to kind of pull on some non-meta cards just for unique scenarios as a heavier spender, but not a true Leviathan, buy and pull max every card. You actually have better options around here too. I mean, I've already talked about, like, we have Nice Nature coming up, which is going to be a very good one if you want to whale out on something that's kind of going above and beyond. She's going to be a very good pickup for Make a New Track specifically. You also have the Fuku banner, which is going to be a meta speed card for Make a New Track, which aren't too far off. But even if you want to go above and beyond on that, we actually have the next banner, which is going to be the Christmas banner, which has 2 SSRs for one, and one of them being the Mayano Top Gun speed card, which is going to be a very good card for front runners. I won't be pulling in this one, but if it might end up being a borrow for some front runners, especially when you're needing an extra heal because it has Rest List built in. The other one being NS Fujin, which you could potentially be borrowing and make a new track just because of the Guts build. This gives you a speed option though. That gives you a heal for your front runners there, which is going to be pretty nice. And it's also a pretty good stat stick, as well as the Narita Taishin Wit card here. Nothing too crazy, but it does have Sleeping Lion heal, another heal that you can pair on to your end closers. So even if you're wanting to whale out on a card, you have a lot of banners that you can whale out on first or higher priority coming right after it. I mean, it's literally back to back almost. You got this one, and this one, which are pretty good whale targets. And so it's a very easy skip unless you're going to be going crazy as a Leviathan spender and just pulling on every dang banner that comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much on these support cards. Nothing too crazy coming up, which is probably really good, since I know a lot of people probably just blew everything they had pulling on Kita-san Black. And now they got like Meijiro Dober, Ogre Cap Christmas, Tamamo Cross, and all this coming out. Having some easy skip banners is always good. So that'll be it for now. And if you like my content, if you like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.